This was one of the early drawings of Gaston, and the anatomy is a bit exaggerated here. I gave him a mustache and a big jaw, and was thinking like, I'm kind of starting to feel comfortable with this. There's some realism in this, but there's enough exaggeration where I can probably have some fun with, because after all, he was supposed to be the villain. And next one. Yeah, this is the sort of the final model where I had to refine him just a little bit. But what happened was, my first scene on Gaston was the one where he's singing during the opening song. He jumps down the roof, if you remember, and he's singing along, and he notices his lovely reflection in some pots and pans, and he just is really pleased with the way he looks. And but I did it with that first model, really exaggerated. And I remember our then boss, Jeffrey Katzenberg, looked at it and he said, well, the animation is fine, but he's not handsome. And I said, handsome? He's the villain. And then he didn't say anything and just kind of left me hanging. And I thought, well, don't tell me they need some kind of a soap opera star design. That's not going to be any fun for a villain. So I was really frustrated. And then a couple of weeks later, he calls me in his office and he said, actually, he explained it to me very clearly. He said, the theme of Beauty and the Beast really is don't judge the book by its cover. So on one end, we have the Beast, who looks scary, terrifies the audience, and Belle. And we find out throughout the story he has a heart of gold. And Gaston has the opposite qualities. We see him at first, handsome dude, maybe he should marry Belle. And then we find out, oh, no, he's full of himself and just a male chauvinist, and he becomes a murderer in the end. So these are opposite qualities. And so that has to be clear, so he has to be handsome. And I remember telling Jeffrey, but handsome characters are so much more difficult to animate. That's what I said. And he said, nobody said it was going to be easy. And that was the end of that conversation. So I was then, my task was to walk that fine line of having him being realistic but also expressive, and I was able to sneak in some degree of caricature, but some scenes work better than others. It was probably the most difficult character because of that I ever animated, but they can't all